Welcome back to Trading the Market. Today's video is a bit different from our normal videos. We're going to look at everything myself and Mark trade in a single day and how we used Sports IQ to do all this. We have recorded our trades and why we traded them. We get a lot of Discord messages asking us how do we use Sports IQ, and today we will show you in this video. Without any further delay, let's get cracking.
The events you're about to witness all took place on one day. That day was today.
The first match for me today is a 10:30 kickoff against Whistler Krakow versus Gornik Lexner. When profiling the game, I start with match IQ because that gives me the blueprint. 79 versus 21, straight away that tells me this is a one-sided game in terms of control, pressure and overall dominance. But I don't stop there, I want to understand why. So I go into the scoring data and it backs it up perfectly. 2.32 goals per game versus 1.15, and more importantly 1.24 versus 0.42 in the first half. That tells me Whistler don't just score more, they start fast and dictate the game early. So now I'm already thinking early goal potential, game state shifts and the match that opens up quickly. Next I layer in the defensive side, and this is where it becomes even clearer. Whistler are solid at 0.88 conceded, so they can concede, it's not guaranteed that they won't, but Gornik are shipping in at 1.77 and over 1 goal per game in the second half alone. So now I've got a team that starts strong against a team that weakens as the game goes on. That pressures across both halves. Then I check goal timings, exactly what I want to see. 84% of Whistler's games have a first half goal and 80% have a second half goal. And the away side are similar. That tells me I've got multiple windows for the trade to land, not just relying on one moment. Finally, I sanity check it with the wider context. PPG at home is 2.31 versus 0.58 away. So the dominance is justified, not inflated. Clean sheets aren't strong enough on either side to rely on a shout, and Whistler's attacking ceiling and Gornik's defensive weakness, there are multiple routes to goals. Whistler could do it on their own or Gornik could contribute, so for me this was where I would keep it simple and disciplined. As the market is little matched on the 1.5, I'll be laying the under 1.5 as a nice opening lay. I decided to take the 1.5 market as there are two teams contributing to your outcome and not one, which is what happens with match odd markets with only having one team contributing to the outcome. The goal comes in the 10th minute and the surprise is it's to the away team. After the market settled, I was being offered 70% back, but due to the away team being the weaker team, I left it to run. And that's it, the 18th minute, the second goal has arrived and that's the trade done. Next for me is the 11:01 Greyhound race at Newcastle. First thing I look for is profile versus price, and this is where it screams false favourite. Yes, it's showing a 59.47% grade IQ with an A6 true grade, but the race it's running in is an A5, with Dog 4's true grade being an A5. Compare that to Trap 1, who's been competing consistently in A2 to A3 company, and suddenly you're dealing with a dog dropping massively in class. That's a completely different level of ability that the market didn't price correctly. Then you go into the recent runs and race shape, and Trap 3 is a classic, looks better than it is. Loads of 1-1-1 early pace runs, but what's actually happening is it doesn't finish. You can see it clearly. Leading early, then getting picked off late, multiple second, third and fourths. That tells you everything, it's not finding the front. In contrast, Trap 1 has been running against far stronger dogs, posting competitive times around 29.3 to 29.7 in higher grades, and now drops down into this race. That's a massive edge in truly finishing ability, not just early shape. Finally, the big one. Market misread of speed versus substance. Trap 3 has a decent average speed of 58.3 km an hour and flashy sectionals which pulls money in, but Greyhound races aren't won on early visuals, they're won on sustained performance and class under pressure. Trap 1 has already proven it can mix it up in much better races and still run similar times. So what you've actually got is the market backing a dog that looks fast early instead of a dog that's actually better overall. That's your false favourite right there. Early pace illusion, weak finishing plus inflated grade perception. All priced as if it was the best dog in the race, when clearly it wasn't. Lays at 2s, and Trap 3, the false favourite, comes in third, and the lay lands with Trap 1 taking the top spot.
In the next one, I have Trap 3 Swift King. It looks weak before you even get into anything complicated. The headline number kills it straight away. 35.55% grade IQ rating, which is comfortably the lowest profile in the race. When you layer in the true grade of A8, 89.45%, you're looking at a dog that is massively out of its depth in an A6 race. This isn't a small mismatch either. It's a full 2 grades of where it should realistically be competing, which is exactly the type of profile the market regularly overrates. The price of this dog has been fluctuating from mid-4s to over 5s. Then you look at the core performance metrics and it doesn't just recover. The ELO sits at 992 distance and barely improves across splits, which is well below runners like Salvador Ariel and Working Boots, who are operating in the 1015 and 1060 plus range. On top of that, the average speed is only 57.5 kilometers per hour, the slowest in the field, and over 480 meters, raw speed matters. There's no compensating edge either. No standout recent form, the last 5, 1-3-5-3-4, no trap dominance, 1 win out of 5, and no sign of progression. This is where the sports IQ thinking comes in. You're not just asking, can it win? You're asking, what does it need to go right? And the answer here is too much. It needs to outperform its grade, improve its speed, beat stronger ELO dogs, and reverse poor consistency, all in one race. Meanwhile, others like Raspberry Ace and Working Boots are already operating at or above this level. That's why, for me, Trap 3 isn't just a weak contender, it's the exact profile of a false favourite, joint favourite, and one I'd be happy opposing every time. So I'm laying Trap 3 for £100. So Trap 3 takes a massive knock on the first bend, showing its true colours, and it finishes 6th. I didn't place my first as I placed it earlier on in the day before I sent out my selections to the Patreon director's box. This trade was the 1209 at Newcastle, laying Trap 1, Coppice Cochise, who came 5th. Next on my list is Trap 3 again, but this one's Mickey Red, and this one sits at 52.97%, which at first glance puts it right in the mix. But that's the trap. It's not strong, it's just not bad. When you combine that with the true grade of A10, 63.33%, you're looking at a dog that is still running below the required level for an A9, even if only slightly. That alone means it needs to improve just to be competitive, never mind win. Now compare that to the actual strength in the race. Easy Mucker is operating at 78.79% with a true grade of A7, which is a completely different level. That's a dog proven 2 grades higher. Then you've got Portrush Bob at 63.51% and a true grade A9, which is exactly where you want to be for this race. Trap 3 doesn't beat those profiles, it has to hope they underperform. Then you layer in the underlying data and there's just no standout angle. The ELO of 1020 is average, the speed 57.5 km per hour is nothing special, and the recent form of 5-2-2-5-5 shows no momentum or consistency edge. There's no early dominance, no pace advantage, no statistical lever you can point to and say that's why this wins. This is the key sports IQ principle. Avoid the dogs that need things to happen for them. Trap 3 needs stronger dogs to regress, needs to outperform its grade, and needs to find improvement that isn't evidenced within the data. That's not an angle, that's hope. And that's exactly why, for me, Trap 3 is the one to oppose rather than trust. So in this one, I lay Trap 3, and as expected, Trap 3 doesn't have the ability to take or gain the lead, and Trap 3 loses.
I backed Oak Soldier here, and it was heavily driven by the Sports IQ rating because quite simply he stood out miles clear of the field. Sitting on a 64.59 SIQ rating, he's not just top rated, he's clear of the pack by a big margin, which with the next best being Bella Madonna, Princess down at 58.75. That's the kind of gap that matters. It's not marginal, it's not debatable, it's a signal that across all the underlying factors we care about, Oak Soldier is outperforming the rest, and the market agrees. What I like even more is that the rating is supported by the profile. You're looking at a solid recent form, a competitive RPR of 117 and a pace setup that suggests he's going to be involved from the right positions rather than needing things to fall perfectly. Compare that to the others in here, a lot of them either have the weaker ratings, inconsistent form, or profiles that rely on things going right. Oak Soldier doesn't need luck, he just needs to run his race. Our odds are around 2.72, you're not being asked to take a wilder price either, you're getting a fair reflection of his chance. But with the SIQ edge still in your favour, That's the key. I'm not trying to be clever here, I'm just trusting the data. When Sports IQ gives you the standout like this, where the rating, form and setup all align, those are the odds I want to be on every single time. And Oak Soldier brings home the win, and that's another top rated Sports IQ horse that has won. In the 1355 Wolverhampton, I back Cologne here, and again, this was a heavy Sports IQ driven play because the numbers are just screaming at you. He's sitting at a 80.43 Sports IQ rating, and in a Class 6 like this, that's not just top rated, that's dominant. The next best, River Wharf, is down at 66.54, which is a huge gap in this kind of race. When you see the separation like that, you're not looking for reasons to oppose it, you're asking if there's any reason not to trust it. Then you layer in the profile and it just reinforces the decision. Recent form reads well, suggesting he's coming in off a win and holding consistency, and his RPR of 73 is right at the top of his field can produce. The early pace tells you he's technically versatile. He's not one-dimensional, he can sit handy or be involved early, which around Wolverhampton over this trip is a massive plus. A lot of these in here either lack consistency or have ratings that flatter to deceive, but Cologne looks solid across the board. At 2.4, again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. This isn't about finding a fancy price, it's about identifying when the data gives you a clear edge and just taking it. Sports IQ has him miles clear, the form backs it up, and the race setup suits. These are the exact profiles I want to keep siding with long term, because over time, these are the ones that pay. There we have it, Cologne goes on and wins the race. Yet again, another top Sports IQ rated horse, winning in its class.
So, we've recorded every trade we've taken today. I've been on all of Mark's trades and he's been on all of mine. And to be fair, it's not exactly difficult to share them when we sit about 20 feet apart in the same office. The only reason we're even that far apart is because Mark needs about 15 foot of desk space just to fill all his monitors on. Honestly, it's like a fucking Jumbotron over there. So the way we have done it today has been pretty tight. We recorded the trades today in real time as they happened, and then we left ourselves a tiny window to get everything pulled together and edited into a video on the same day it's released. So with that in mind, here are the rest of our trades from today. So at 3 o'clock we have Dorking Wanderers versus Worthington. This is exactly the type of game where the second half is doing the damage. Both sides are naturally stronger after the break, with second half scoring rates of 1.02 and 1.14, which comfortably outweigh the first half output. And when you layer that with the conceding profiles 0.76 and 0.52 conceded in the second halves, you've got two teams that open up as the game progresses. The IQ data backs that up heavily. 93% and 83% of games land a second half goal, rising to 100% and 75% in the last 8, which is about as strong as it gets from a consistency standpoint. Add in the fact both teams are competitive, PPG 1.86 versus 1.79, very tight match odds market with Dorking at 2.3 and Worthing at 2.3, and neither side is likely to shut it down, especially with low clean sheet rates and recent volatility. The SD is around 1.3 to 1.5, so what you end up with is a balanced game that stays alive deep into the match, and that's exactly the profile where second half goals thrive. The next one we have is Young PSV under 21s versus VVV Venlo. This one screams second half goal when you break it down properly. Young PSV are heavily front loaded with a 1.00 first half scoring rate, but their defensive drop off after the break is massive, conceding 1.03 in the second half, while Venlo flipped the script entirely. Weak early, 0.32 first half scoring, but much stronger late, a 0.97 second half scoring. That creates the perfect crossover, where one side fades and the other grows into the game. The IQ consistency backs it as well, with 85% and 94% of games landing a second half goal, and still strong in the last 8, 75% and 88%. So this isn't a one-off trend. Add in the poor clean sheet rates, both around 13% in the last 8. Both teams concede heavily overall, and neither side in strong form, with PPG last 8 under 1. And you're looking at a game that becomes more open, more stretched and more chaotic as it goes on. Exactly the conditions where second half goals thrive. And last, but by no means least, is the 1906 at Yarmouth. Trap 3 Paradise Liberty is a clear lay here because everything in the data points to it being massively outclassed in this field. The headline issue is the true grade of A4, which is below today's A3 race. while you've got rivals like Golden Passion A1 and Glideaway Hugo, Bright Layla A2. So on raw ability alone, it's already stepping up against other stronger dogs. Then you look at the performance metrics and it gets worse. A lower overall ELO profile, a 1010 track ELO, and a slower average of 58 km per hour, compared to the likes of Golden Passion at 59.2 km per hour, which is a big gap over this trip. The simulation absolutely kills it as well, just 2.52% win probability after 1 million simulated races. Even the place probability is only 8.57%, so it's not even competitive for minor spots. Yes, the recent form 13412 might catch the eye, but that's exactly the trap. Those runs have come against weaker opposition, and the underlying ratings, low grade, weaker ELO, show it doesn't stack up at this level. Put it all together and you've got a dog stepping up in class, lacking the speed to compete, and priced nowhere near its true chance. That's exactly the profile of a lay. You're opposing something the market is giving far too much respect to, and that's the difference. That's what happens when you stop guessing and actually start trading with information that puts you ahead of the market. Everything you've seen today, every trade, every decision, every edge, that's all coming from Sports IQ. No opinions, no chasing, just data doing the heavy lifting. Now here's the bit you need to understand. This isn't something that's going to stay quiet forever. The more people that catch on to this, the harder it gets. The edges shrink, the prices move faster, and suddenly you're the one playing catch up instead of being ahead of it. So if you're serious about trading, don't sit there watching from the sidelines thinking you'll get round to it, because that's exactly how people miss out. Hit subscribe because we're dropping this stuff consistently, and if you actually want to start using it yourself, Sports IQ is just £12 per month and has been since it started. Sports IQ was designed by people who actually use it. We do this full time and we give you the tools to do it also. I've been James. This has been a full day using Sports IQ and how we approach every trade, and together we are all trading the market. And until next time, happy trading.